How are you? Great to have you here. How's everything?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, how's it going?
It's going great over here. Great to be chatting with you. Glad also to present to the Cuartel del Metal audience great music from Fire Sets Fire as well. So
you guys have a big audience. We're very happy. We're very lucky to be here.
Absolutely, my pleasure. My pleasure chatting with you guys. Well, for those people here in South America that are getting familiar with Fire Sets Fire, how about you let us know a bit about the beginnings of this musical project that you guys have?
Okay. This band started about 8 years ago. And we're just kind of a mixture. We're lucky because we're doing this with all of our friends, and we got a mixture of music coming in. So it's metal, it's rock, it's kind of punk. It's kind of everything. It's hard to classify.
Yeah, absolutely. That was kind of my first impression while hearing the music. There's a lot of stuff. We're gonna dig deep a bit in some of the songs of the album that you've got. Well, I see the Iron Maiden poster, your Motorhead T-shirt. Certainly, there's a lot of metal, of rock.
Yes.
What would you say that some of the, well, of course, I imagine those bands are as well influences for you, but what would you say are the main influences for Fire Sets Fire?
Well, that's hard because
Sabbath.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's different for each member of the band. You know what I mean? But we're all kind of, that's what makes it cool is we all have your unique stuff. I like hardcore and punk and, like the 80s metal and stuff like that and classic rock too. And I think that's kind of what we all grew up listening to. We're all around the same age. So a lot of classic rock. And then we kind of got into the fringe stuff when we got older on our own.
Yep.
How about you, Steve?
Well, it's kind of similar to Shane. I mean, we like all that stuff, and I don't know if you would hear our music and think Sabbath, but there definitely is the influences there.
Right.
We love old metal. I mean, I still love Maiden. I see their last tour, and I'm gonna see them again when they come next time, and I'll keep seeing Maiden, but that doesn't stop me from liking like current metal, like Killswitch Engage and
Good.
Slipknot and things of that nature, bands of that kind. I like that a lot, so I'm heavily influenced by that. But then again, you'd never hear our music and think Killswitch Engage. I mean, it's just not there, We're the best metal band that isn't really metal.
That could be a good definition. Yeah, mostly it's good music. It's rock. It's metal. It's a lot of guitars, a lot of noise, like what we like.
Yes.
And you got to
listen. I always kind of say when people ask me what kind of music we are, I kind of say, well, I throw it back on them. It's like that kind of depends on you. Because if you're the kind of person that's listening to, like, if you listen to Slayer and Slipknot and all that, you're going to think we're rock. But if you listen to like mellow stuff, Tom Petty or stuff like that, you're going to think we're metal. So, I mean, that's kind of how it decides what we are to that person, really, is what they, because we're kind of riding riding the fence.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's kind of an edge for you because metal fans like your music, rock fans like your music, music fans in general. I think it's good stuff. The music you're doing, guys. So well,
kind of like Motorhead, Motorhead's a perfect example of the metalers like them, the rockers like them, the punkers like them. God, that's a great example.
Absolutely, I agree on that one. So you've got a full album, but actually, I think you're promoting the single "Maybe We Can Dance." Right. I think that's an absolutely awesome song because it brings those kind of different influences. You got the heavy guitars, you got the melodic choruses. What can you tell me about this particular track? Maybe we can dance.
Maybe We Can Dance was a little catchier. What it was a punk rock song, just slowed down. It was like a real fast song that we slowed down. And our singer, when he gravitates to something, I wish he could have been here today, but when he gravitates to something, when we write kind of organically. So it's not real forced. We didn't say we're going to make this kind of song or that kind of song. It was like a fast punk rock song that I was just playing on an acoustic guitar, and he caught a groove and it just sounded good, and we rolled with it. And once someone like Shane, our drummer, gets a hold of it, that dictates kind of where it goes from there too. So it's kind of always been a good natural progression. If it fits and it feels good, everybody kind of jumps on board, and it becomes something. If it doesn't, or someone's not feeling it, it usually just kind of falls off. And that's how this one was. It was just like quick idea, sounded good, brought it to the guys, and everyone jumped on it, and it just came out great.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's a good song to show the people what Fire Sets Fire is about, and then of course they can go to the full album. That's Fire Sets Fire as well from 2018, right? I'd like you guys to tell me a bit about the making of that record, and how was the repercussion in this year since its release.
Okay, well, making the album was long and tedious, and took way too long, but we spent way too much time on it because we had a good friend who owns the studio, so he would give us downtime. They would give us time when there's not a lot of people coming on, so we didn't have a lot of money, and we just had to kind of space it out. We did it all ourselves, and when you do something like that, you come back after a month, and you go do 3 or 4 more days, and then you come back after 3 weeks, and you're kind of getting the time when you can. So it took longer that way, but I think at the end of the day, we got a lot of time to think about things and make it exactly how we wanted.
How long was it from the time I did the drums until we did
a year and a half at least.
Wow.
Almost 2 years to complete, mainly because of the money, and our other guitar player is insane. So he just can sit there and tweak on something. He's that kind of gear guy. He knows everything about every effect and every pedal and every he was a recording engineer himself. So, I mean, he just enjoyed every minute of it and just made it, huge. So, I mean, it was like a labor of love. It's one of those things where it's work, but at the end of the day, you're getting excited about things. You're bringing in new pieces of gear, and we're re-recording stuff. I mean, it got to a bigger level than we ever thought it would be. But it sounds amazing. We're so happy.
The result is there. It's funny what you say, that the drums were recorded like a year and a half before. So of course I imagine, even though you use the word tedious, I can imagine, because it's a really long period of time, but well, I assume that and I can see that you're really happy with the result as well. Yes. I imagine having that time in between also allowed you to, you will tell me, but to rearrange some certain song parts, or
it does.
Yeah.
You walk out with rough drafts and you have them for 2 weeks, and you say, I like this, I really don't like that. And that was the problem, because most of the time you go in, you slam out an album, 2-3 weeks, and you're done. A full album, that's pretty good. I mean, maybe a month. I mean, obviously big bands can take 2 or 3 months doing it, but I mean, when you have this much time in between and you sit there, then you come back and you redo a bunch of stuff. That's bad. That's dangerous. That's what took so long. It's like, we can make this sound better, and we can make that sound better. Okay. And yeah, there's a good and bad. It's a give and take.
Yeah, and sometimes those are details that perhaps you only perceive, and the people that are listening from the outside say, well, but wasn't it the same?
Would have never noticed.
Yeah,
never noticed.
For the band, it's always there's always something that can change. But the album sounds great as it is, and I think you came with to a good result.
Yes.
Well, as you were saying that the singer couldn't be here, perhaps you can tell me a bit about, because of course you're here in the band as well. What can you tell me about the lyrics with this album, with the band in general? I mean, is there some sort of general concept that binds everything? Do you go for more?
You want to take that, Shane?
Go ahead.
I'll just drink this beer while you do that,
Cool.
Shane.
Well, I don't know if there's much, it's like a conceptual thing. I think, Matt really feels it. Like Steve was saying, when we write, we go in and we'll be playing, when we're all together, we'll be just jamming out. We've had a couple songs just like come out of thin air, like Angry Boy. Speechless America was a pretty quick one like that too. We came up with those parts out of just jamming. It took a little bit more work to put together after that, but I think we came up with the main structure like right away.
Song. Yeah.
Yeah. And we like to record when we just jam out and then find the parts where we're all clicking. And I think Matt jumps in and it'll inspire him. I think he writes from his own personal experience, and he writes about his struggles and his emotional things that he goes through. And I think he's pretty well in touch with all that when he's writing, so it comes out pretty heartfelt.
Yeah, it's honest stuff.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, and that's cool because what's interesting about your style that also may appeal to different kind of music fans. You got the kind of the more up tempo songs. You got kind of the ballads as well, more melodic songs. This question perhaps for the both of you. Which style do you prefer better? What do you like? What type of song do you like to work on better?
Always harder.
We always go. Yeah, we like harder. We like harder.
Whoa. Steve and I don't know if you know this, but Steve and I were in punk bands for many years together.
Oh, okay.
So
you gotta show that to me.
That's my sweet spot there. But I think this band is cool because it's kind of something not out of our comfort zone, but out of what we're used to. Yeah. And it's kind of just, the songs almost wrote themselves and we just were playing. I mean, and going back to our influences, like you don't really hear Sabbath in us. But when we started playing, I was like, okay, after years of playing super fast, like breakneck speed, I can slow down and just play my caveman Bill Ward style. And so I was really channeling like the, Bill Ward, Chuck Biscuits, John Bonham kind of just caveman style.
Straight out, just no frills, hard hitting, good stuff. And like you said, we used to play really fast, like no effects, like that kind of punk where it's just super fast. I mean, Shane was just going 100,000 miles an hour, and I'm just hanging on, trying to keep up with him.
Oh yeah, you gotta show to me that band. I will ask your PR later to send me that stuff.
Absolutely.
As well. So how much did it take? You were saying, Shane, a bit of the slowing down things a bit, like Bill Ward, all those drummers you mentioned got a kind of a great groove in the slower songs, and also
well, what was cool about it? Well, after our old band kind of dissolved, Steve and I kept going, and we kept, even if it was just the two of us, we would go in the studio. This was the evolution of Fire Sets Fire. It was just Steve and I, and we just kind of go, and we were experimenting with just everything. I don't know if we were trying to play punk or if we were just trying to go and keep our chops up and play. I mean, this went on for a good few years, and we would just bring whoever like wanted to come jam with us. So we had a slew of bass players and guitar players, different singers, would come around, and we just kind of go through and just make up stuff, and it was all kind of just whatever we felt like playing at the time. So it kind of just started taking shape, and then we got Brooks, second guitar in there, and it was the three of us forever. And then Steve hooked up with Matt, and the songs just, once Matt came in, it just happened. Like with the songs, we'd been jamming in the studio for those few years, just kind of riffing out, and had a few little instrumentals put together. And some of those just turned into something completely different once Matt put his songs to them. He felt it. And so it was like, oh, okay, now we finally have something to kind of wrap this around, Yeah,
so it gave us more direction.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. And of course, as I mentioned, that record from 2018, it's been kind of 3 years. Of course, middle.
1 year doesn't count.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I mean, half of that time was a fucking pandemic,
COVID.
But what can you do?
Yeah.
In the time you could have
like every band.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate. It still is, but hopefully it will start opening up.
We hope for the world. I mean, it's got to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. But those times before the pandemic, after the release of the records, how was it like? Did you get to play live shows? I mean, how was it?
Fantastic. Yeah, we were playing with so many bands. We got to play with Vince Neil, Motley Crue.
Wow.
We played with Dokken. We played with Rat. We played with Tom Kiefer of Cinderella. We played with Jeff Tate of Queensryche. Yeah, we opened for Blue Oyster Cult, was one of our biggest shows that just was fantastic. And I mean, we were on a roll, everything on a tear. We were just killing it. And then we had our last show 2 days before, or 2 days, the pandemic started that week. We were supposed to play with Buck Cherry. And just, we had ourselves on track to we were really just supporting great acts and getting such momentum. And then, death.
Man. Yeah.
Death for everybody. And I mean, I'm not woe is us. Yeah, bad. Every single band. I mean, everybody who works in this industry, and you know, we have side jobs and we make a living, and that's cool. But I mean, for the guys that relied on this, and that was their life. I mean, that sucked. And I wish they're still hurting.
Yeah. Whoa, what a great bunch of bands you mentioned. Which was your favorite? Which was your favorite show of those?
Well, personally, I'm a big Queensryche fan, so I got to say, meeting Jeff and playing with them, except for their band didn't like us that much. That didn't go so well on that end, but we had a good time, and I was super excited. I mean, Rat was really good too, because they were just amazing. I couldn't believe, out of all the bands we play with that are kind of older metal, man, Rat was just great, right?
Yep, they're good.
What would you say your favorite was, Shane?
Well, it depends. I mean, I think if you're asking me which one I felt like we played the best, that was Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, that for sure.
That was probably our best show for a number of reasons, just crowd response and just everything. But I mean, for me, I think Rat was probably the band that we've played with that I was most into. I mean, Motley Crue I used to love when I was younger, but yeah, well, that wasn't.
Yeah, if you've seen Vince Neil lately, it's not
nowadays,
so good.
Yeah, sounds like an old woman. it's not working.
He's really bad, and so was Don Dokken. Don Dokken was just shot. He even came up. I shit you not. I don't want to say anything bad, but Don said, "Man, I'm sure glad we didn't go on right after you, because on that show we opened, and then there was like a blues band in between us, which was weird. But he was like, man, I'm just so glad we didn't go on right after you.
Good
guys.
For him, well, for the band as well, right?
That meant a lot to me, because I'm a Dokken fan, and I'm a big fan of George Lynch as being a guitar player. Of course, he was not in the band at that moment. He is now at this moment, but you know, just exciting shit to grow up and like these bands and get to play with them. I mean, just, yeah, it's remarkable, you know, and then have them actually say, man, you guys were really damn good. So
that must be amazing.
It is. And we are good live. I mean, that's what this band does good. That's why we jam so well. That's why we just, that's what we enjoy doing, is just putting on the instruments and just jumping out and jamming. We could do that with no songs, but you know,
you need to get to South America to bring your music over here. It would be amazing.
I told you, I mentioned my wife is from Peru. I've been to Peru. I've been to Lima. I've been up around there. Argentina's not far off.
Nope.
My wife's best friend is Argentinian, and we are, you know, we're very close, and well, we do everything with them when we're not, you know, doing music and stuff. And the scene is so alive and so good. I mean, this isn't a different part of the interview, but how is it there right now? I mean, we do want to get to South America. What's going on now in Argentina?
You mean musically or generally?
Yes. Yeah. Musically. I mean, is it coming? Stuff starting to come out?
Very slow, but yes, it began to like reinstate in December, January. Yeah,
good.
Almost till March. But then we had the second wave of COVID. Yeah, and it all got locked down again, and now it's kind of reopening again. Music, you know, theaters, all this kind of art.
Are there any big bands coming, or got any shows on the horizon? No.
We've got the postponed shows from lots of bands, you know, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Kiss.
Yeah.
But everything. I assume it all is going to be 2022.
Those bands are all kicking off right now here in the States. So we have a bunch of festivals that are just starting. So I was hoping that was going to happen in South America and Europe as well.
I know Europe. Well, it's almost
They canceled
reopening
all their
again. They're doing
festivals. Yeah.
festivals. Yeah,
Download, whack in, everything's
right.
2022.
For those festivals are 2022. But yeah, here in South America, all the big bands and well, all medium bands and smaller ones,
Sure.
I think are going to be 2022. So well, let's hope to have you. If not 2022,
Absolutely,
2023, whenever you want to come, it would be great.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Absolutely. So you're working with Curtain Call Records. I send my regards to Selena, who's probably watching this as well. How's everything been with them for you?
Yeah, they're an amazing label. I mean, they take really good care of us. Sel is just amazing. She's primarily working our album for us, and she does the world as far as not just Mexico and South America, but she's up at like 2 a.m. working Europe. I mean, just the girl never stops, and the label is so supportive. They're very DIY type of label, so they let you be yourself, and they try to nurture you and let you grow the way that you want to grow, and that's so good these days. I mean, you have a voice in what you do and where you're going.
Well, yeah, definitely a great label. Selena, great professional, what she
Yes.
does.
She's amazing.
Well, again, my regards to her, and thank you
Yes.
for letting me chat with you guys. So
Absolutely.
to start rounding up the interview, I'd like to ask you, well, of course, I mean, the world still, as I said, kind of paralyzed, slowly growing out of this pandemic. So what would be the remaining plans for Fire Sets Fire for 2021?
Well, we are trying to book some shows, and I can't say yet. I mean, even though it won't affect us because it's mostly local, but we're hoping to have a few shows here coming soon, and we see the end of this year us playing and possibly getting on one festival. It's still up in the air, but again, travel's hard, everything's hard. So, but we see us playing. We are writing. We're hoping to record and have something new for 2022 to support.
Awesome. Sounds like great plans. Yeah, I know that also some bands are starting to schedule dates in the States. So
Yes.
that it's great that you're also starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We hope we can do it too again sooner than later. But well, we have the great music to listen to. You got some cool videos in your YouTube channel as well that people can go and check out. We will leave the links here in the description below. And well, everyone go and listen to Fire Sets Fire, a great rock metal band for you to discover, to enjoy. Guys, thank you very much for taking the time to chatting with me, and
thank you, Federico. We
this.
really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Metal.
Of course, great to have you. Any last words for those people that will be watching this interview?
Just stay strong.
Stay well, stay strong, keep rocking.
Yeah, awesome. Keep rocking, keep metal. Boosh.
Cool. We'll see you soon, hopefully.
Hopefully we'll have you here soon in Argentina, Chile, wherever you want to do a full South American
show.
That would be
the whole thing.
Best.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Everywhere guys, but probably Venezuela.
Yeah, well, that'd be the hardest one, but who knows? Maybe in the future it can be done.
We hope so too. We hope so for our Venezuelan brothers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yes, thank you. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yep.